What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today we are looking at the finale of Dark Winds. And I think this was a very satisfying conclusion to the mystery we've been setting up all season. There's some clever twists, we got some good action scenes, we got a lot of suspense. There's a lot to like in this episode, so definitely got a lot of great stuff to get into, but that's just my overall feelings of the episode. We start off with the biggest twist of the episode, which is who the true antagonist is. Turns out Mr. FBI Man was on the side of the Buffalo Society all along. And in this scene, it establishes he doesn't care about the cause. He just knows that this guy's good at robbing banks and he wants money. So apparently the helicopter pilot that the Buffalo Society had set up before had a rap sheet or something and got picked up for something else. So that's how he caught wind of this. And it turns out everything he's done this whole season has been in an effort to cover up everything that's going on. So it's it's a clever plot twist. I didn't quite expect it, and it makes a lot of things make more sense. I would have to watch it again and see like if there's anything that maybe contradicts that. But it plays off well in this episode. He's a great villain for this episode. It's a nice twist, and I didn't expect it, even though I probably should have. So here we are. Chi has come back, and he knows because of talking to Devoted Dan or Dealer Dan, I forget which one it is. He knows that his boss is in on it. He learned, somebody came and talked to him, and there's no reports filed, and also the file that he wanted of the double murder was supposed to be thrown away. So he knows that there's a cover-up happening. He knows what's happening. I'm surprised I didn't figure it out last week with everything with him, but I just kind of glossed over it. So I didn't even mention that he found out that his boss talked to Dealer Dan. So I should have pieced it together, but I didn't for some reason. So I just wanted to point out this CGI shot looks a little fake to me. Yeah, it's a CGI shot. There's no doubt in my mind. But I do like this scene here. Where there's some funny lines in this episode. So even though we have all this intensity going on, they still have a little bit of humor, but it's not too much, and it's not cringy humor, and it doesn't come off as like, oh, just trying to spout off one-liners like a Marvel movie or something. It feels like organic to the story. So I appreciate the humor here. Bernadette, he says, didn't anybody tell you you're too pretty to be a cop? And then she's like, only everyone. How about you? So I like those little jokes we get, and it builds up the characters, and they're little moments, but I really appreciate when comic relief is done well, because it's a little over the top now. It feels like everything's written like a sitcom now. But I'm loving everything building up. We're back here with the Buffalo Society guys. They're gonna use the Mormon family as hostages, which makes sense. Of course, that's the only real thing that makes sense. They want to get the father guy to go to Devoted Dan to get a van, so he wants to have the full image. He feels he needs the minivan for the image. So I like that element, and we got a Leap Horn sneaking around. I like that we don't get the altercation right away. He knows he's on his own. He knows, I don't know if he's called for backup or if he's waiting for people to show up or just waiting for the right opportunity. But I like that suspense here and the cat and mouse game that they have going on. I appreciate it. He accidentally lets some dirt fall in, and then they realize that he's in there. So, a lot of times that stuff is like a little too convenient when he made a little bit of a noise right there, but it works in this scene, and I like how they start plugging the holes, and he's running out of places to go. I like this cat and mouse game. It works for me. Now here's one scene I'm not really sure what was going on here. I guess it was an accident. I was like, did he do it on purpose? I was a bit. It would only make sense if it was an accident, but just some of the way it was shot was just a little confusing. So, and this is a point where the Chi shows up and confronts his FBI boss. Doesn't want him to know that that he knows that he's in on it. But this is one point. There was a gunshot in the cave, and bang, 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 like it just happened. So they're like, I don't know where they are. Where would they go? It's like they would both at this point be heading toward the gunfire. So yeah, that took me out of it. Like this, maybe if this scene took place just before the gunshot, like that would work better. But yeah, it's like a potential shootout situation. And, I like how it's a Wild West type of thing. We got the Western feel plus the noir, like I said in the first review. I was right, of course. Everybody knows I'm always right. So I like the tension here. She kind of is trying to lie about why he's here. He's really here to arrest the FBI guy, but of course he doesn't want him to know that at this point. So he says that he's here to help Leaphorn, and I like the point about how that's contradictory to why the FBI picked Chi to begin with. So the duel situation, it works for me in general, but there's just a couple things here. You're like, yeah, he pulled out the gun really quick and just shot it off as quick as he could, so he hit him in the arm. That's possible. It makes sense. It's you're trying to shoot as quick as you can, so you might not hit the target you're looking for. But he knows he hit him in the arm, right? I think he would check to see if Chi was dead, right? Because I don't know, he he can't let Chi live at this point, right? So I think he would check on it. I know like we need Chi to survive this and all that, but I just find it hard to believe. Like I feel like he would double tap. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, if Chi lives, he's screwed straight up. So he's already in this deep. So I don't know. Here we got something unexpected in the episode. The guy who was the girl's father, the girl who was murdered, and Leaphorn's sort of rival slash friend. He ends up getting involved in the story too because he comes upon the van. Now, I often complain on this channel about coincidences and stuff like that. I think this would apply. But I like getting him into the story. I think the reservation's a pretty big space, but we have kept the story pretty confined into a small radius. I don't think we've been traveling too far throughout the series. Correct me if I'm wrong. But so I think the odds of him driving up on the van, it might be pretty good actually, because there's probably not that many roads out here. So I was willing to let the coincidence slide in this case. Let me know what you guys think. Some people don't like when I nitpick stuff like that, but it's what I do. And now Bernadette's in the cave, and the Buffalo Society guys are trying to smoke out Leaphorn. Now, the one minor criticism, maybe they shot the shot and then cut it for time, but I feel like he would have tried to kick out some of the rocks or something, because they plug the holes with rocks so that this whole thing would work. But I feel like, if you're just shoving rocks up a hole like that, you could just he could take the butt of the rifle, and just go poom, poom, and probably open it up, right? So at least get some more oxygen in the area. I get he can't fit through the hole. Can he fit through the holes? I mean, how did he get in here to begin with? So, okay, so I feel like he could get out a different way. That being said, I like the tension here, the imagery of the smoke, and it works. So I'm not going to complain too much. But maybe if we saw him try to bust out the rocks and then he's unsuccessful, that would cancel out what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And maybe they shot the shot, like I said, and cut it for time, because of course you shoot a lot more than you actually end up using on a TV show. So if I was a director, that might be one thing where they're like, okay, network says we need to cut 30 seconds from the episode. You might be like, all right, we'll cut out that shot. Like, it still makes sense. It's like kind of annoying that it's not there. So you know what I'm saying? It might be like a compromise thing. I just wanted to add that I really enjoy the tension of him having to jump in the fire. I think that was well done. I liked him dropping the bullets into the fire beforehand. Well, I think he dropped 2 bullets, and did we only see one go off, or did they both go off at the same time? I don't know. Anyways, I really liked that. I just wanted to acknowledge that tension was really cool, and I like the image of him jumping onto the fire and putting it out. It was really cool. And I like how we have Leaphorn come here and deflate the tire. Yeah, I like how he creates what ends up being an issue later. So Bernadette breaks the family out and has them wait, and then she meets up with Chi. Then we get the final big standoff where the FBI guy shows up, and Leaphorn is also taken hostage because he thought the FBI guy, he's the only one who doesn't know that the FBI guy is bad at this point. So he's taken in, and then he's like, for once, I'm happy to see you. So I like the irony there, the dramatic irony that we know more than Leaphorn does. So I appreciate that. And Yeah, this stunt of him falling in, I think, was well done. I felt it, man, and I'm like, Leapfrog, no. So, and I like how he has a little cubby hole to hide in down here. I think this scene is played out really well. So I like that standoff scene quite a bit. And again, having the twist the FBI guy just be the shady guy is all out for himself. It really works for me, and I like this conversation that she has. They almost make you think that she is gonna be on the FBI guy's side, like he's looking at the money and he's thinking about, and he's asking how much money is that, and then he says, "Oh yeah, that would be so many years in prison." So they trick us with us thinking that he's gonna flip flop, but he doesn't. So I like that, and I like this little how they resolve this situation with the girl's father in it as well. Well, the girl's father, we know he's in the area, and it turns out that he was watching this. So when the Deus Ex Machina comes in, it fits. So I like how they set everything up. He still thinks that the girl that was murdered was a prostitute, which we know is not true. And the girl's father is uncontrollable and just shoots him at that moment. And it was surprising. I wasn't expecting it, and it makes sense at the end of the day. So I thought that resolution was great. It's a nice little twist, and now Chi's gonna do his own little cover up. Chi and Bernadette are gonna cover up this to protect this guy. Which honestly, I get that the FBI guy was bad, but calling somebody a whore doesn't mean you get to kill them. So I don't know that I agree with covering up for this guy. I feel for him. I don't agree with it. So that's just morally speaking, I don't agree with it. So that's it's a minor point. I get it, I get it what they're going for. I sympathize with the guy. Maybe give him a lenient sentence, but I feel like he should suffer the consequences of that. But that's just my own personal morality. Take it for what you will. And here we are, realizing the place is rigged with explosives. They put the bodies in place. They make it look like the other dead guy shot the FBI guy, and then they decide to blow it up because they know Leaphorn is going to know. Even though they should know that if they blow this up, they're going to dig it up eventually. So I don't know why they think blowing it up is going to help. Because at the end of the episode, we get the excavation details. So, and they should know, he should know, he's like FBI, he should know that they would do that anyway. So, I don't know why they think blowing it up is really going to help, but, that's it's just a little nitpicks though, like it doesn't affect how I enjoy the story. So, with these little nitpicks, this is just, that's what we do on this channel, we nitpick. I know it annoys people, that's what this channel's for. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but this isn't for you. But I really like this finale here, and it's Leaphorn using his brain. He's trying to do the right thing. He wants to bring this Buffalo Society guy to justice, but he doesn't want him to kill himself. So I really like, he's playing up the sympathy. He's saying we're fighting for the same cause, just it's your methods that are the problem. Because, of course, Leaphorn views himself as somebody who's becoming part of the system and making it better. So he has an issue with the terrorist murderous methods, of course. I think Leaphorn personally is not as sympathetic as he's portraying himself here, but he is at gunpoint. He is trying to manipulate the guy. So I like this scene, and I think it's an interesting play. It ends with Leaphorn leaving and this guy shooting himself. So it's a satisfying conclusion to me, like how this all played out. Not exactly how I might have guessed, but not too unexpected, but everything is like well executed, and the acting is incredible here. So hats off to this villain. I forget we covered his name before, but he was in Breaking Bad. He's a great actor, so I think he did amazing this season. And we end with a scene that's been set up since the first episode, which is the jacket, Leaphorn's son's jacket, and this is kind of a funeral ceremony going on, and it's that final catharsis of letting the son go. I feel like we didn't quite build up to that a little bit. I mean, they tried with the the argument scene last week, and I explained my opinions on that scene and why it didn't work. But I like the scene as a bookend. I just feel like it doesn't quite earn the emotional payoff as well as it could have. But I appreciate the bookend, and I don't know if this is like if this is a cultural ceremony. Definitely let me know in the comments section. Would love to learn about it. But yeah. Oh, one point I almost forgot with the blowing up the cave thing. The other aspect I thought of it, and again, please correct me in the comments because I don't know as much as I should about Native American culture and specifically the Dene and stuff like that. But my impression was that environmentalism and preserving the landscape and stuff like that and caring for the earth was a big part of the philosophy. Maybe that's not the case with the Dene. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that people from that culture would not be okay with just blowing up a part of a mountain. I would have thought it would have had some sacred significance. The land has, had been passed down and all that. So I would have thought that they would care about that. And I would have thought that like Chi and especially Bernadette would not have wanted to blow it up. And even the Buffalo Society guys, I know that they had arguments about methods, but the good guy, the one that we more were sympathetic to, that didn't like the killing and stuff, maybe he shouldn't have been okay with setting up the bombs, but I could be completely off base on that. Definitely please let me know in the comments. But that was just something I was thinking about while I was watching. I was like, wait, wouldn't they not want to blow up the mountain? Like, isn't that like kind of against their culture? But I don't know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. But I like the scene visually. Like I said, I don't feel I had the payoff it could have. But we did have the crying scene with that guy, the friend scene last week. So maybe it worked. And then we get a flash forward. And this is where we find out about the excavation. And it turns out that before it was blown up, somebody else had tampered with the evidence. And this is what we're left with. Beyond the mystery of what happened to Lee Porn's son's death, which is almost certainly going to be a topic next season, or maybe not next season, but in a future season, it's going to come up at some point. And then we got the cliffhanger of somebody tampered with the bodies, took the money, and removed one of the bodies. Maybe one of them wasn't dead after all, or something. Something's going to happen with that. So we got one little thread hanging, and we're going to find out what happened with that next season because the show is renewed. And it will be back. So, again, very satisfying conclusion. I got my nitpicks as always. But, it's a solid conclusion to a solid series. Overall, in terms of the full season, I feel it could have benefited from having a couple more episodes to set up some more things and have a bit more emotional payoff. This was a strong finale, though, and it had a lot going for it, a lot of action and suspense. So, I think they ended it at its best, at its peak. This is the best it's been. Is how the finale was. So it gives the first season maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's a great show. Definitely recommend it. And I'm excited to see season 2. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you agree or if you have any knowledge of the cultural things I discussed earlier, please let me know in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And please sub and like for more reviews. I will probably cover this in season 2 if people are still interested in watching my reviews. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. With that, it's been your boy Shuggy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Better Call Saul mid-season premiere tomorrow. Be back for that. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.